Did see an Amazon starter.
Shout out your belly.
Especially sticking in the fucking paint room. They have literally just been in that fucking paint room. I know they have. Ooh, does we do angles? Better do, because the old one did.
Good morning, it's Monday. It's Matt here at What's Joinery. Yeah, just I'm not really sure what I'm going to do today filming wise. I might pick you up, I might not. If I don't, I'll see you tomorrow. Well, 2 fuck ups there. Well, 3 actually, that's Mr. Gear. Yeah. Don't know if anyone else ever does this, but basically I went this morning to the workshop to cut a piece of timber to basically put a threshold in this cupboard, and then thought, oh brilliant, I'll just go and put the bit of timber in. I've left it in the workshop, so I've just done all of that, come to the van, I'm like, where is it? Like, so I just can see it now just on the bench. Like, I've done all that work and just left it there. I've got to go back to the workshop now to go get it. What a start to a Monday. It's not even a Monday, it's a Tuesday. What a start. Good morning. It's Wednesday morning. It's not Tuesday morning, as I keep thinking. My week is just screwed up in my head. So basically, I thought I was just going to jump on for a minute, quickly update you so that you know what's got, because I said last week, so anyone that's watching them weekly, and thanks if you are, I've got like, something like well over half of the people that watch my videos don't subscribe, so it's hard to know if they're just new people or if they're the same people coming back. Basically, so if you do like what you see, just like that's like, just subscribe, like, and then I'll know, won't I? And then, like, I get like a little buzz when I get a subscriber. I tell all my family. Sometimes I trick them. I go, what's 100 plus 4? And they'll go, 104 you. I go, what, subscribers? Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Right. Basically, so what I did yesterday was planned. Yesterday was the plan was to basically go and finish off that scullery, because there was just 2 things that were missing, so I was waiting for something to happen. So I sort of updated on that, but I didn't film it while I was there. That went a little bit pear-shaped anyway. My own fault. I just, come back after a sort of boozy weekend, I guess, and just didn't really hit the ground running on the Tuesday. But it's my own time. I sort of rectified that. Then I had a little job to fit in yesterday afternoon, and I sort of like, I drove past and they got so many people there, like working there. I was just like, I'm not going to get on the drive. I'm not going to get anywhere near the house. And it's one of those, so I'm now going to go do now. It's one of those awkward jobs where you just need to be really outside the front door. And I've only got a few hours this morning anyway. So I actually went to another job, which I got in the village, where they wanted a door hanging. I just swung the door for them. They got the door. Well, I got the door for them about a month ago, and they were waiting basically to change their floor and bits and bobs, because I just said, well, I might as well just do it on top of your new carpet rather than coming back to recut. So I went and did that. I didn't film that because they didn't want me to film, and that was a bit of a shock. I've never had that. I've had it mentioned, sorry. Or I've had it, but I had just and I've got better at asking. I had an outright no, I don't want that. Sometimes I get, well, as long as you don't do this, like you're, But yeah, anyway, yeah, I said an out no, which is completely up to them. That's cool. It doesn't bother me. Actually meant I probably was a little bit quicker hanging the door. And then all this is sort of basically revolving around the fact that I was going to be a lot more clearer and freer this week to start another kitchen. But I was supposed to meet them, and they've just had a baby. They couldn't agree a time until an evening, and they're in London. They're in North London, so yeah, I've got to go down there tonight basically. And I've been trying to work that out around also picking up this new thickness of planer, which basically I got let down on the marketplace on Saturday, and I've been trying to sort that out, thinking it would go ahead. Once I get let down once, I do become a bit sort of, I'm a bit funny then. I'm sort of on the lookout for it, and I could just tell it was coming again. I found someone else sort of very last minute actually, who's a lot more local, to be fair. So I'm going to go get that today. I just want to, I've got a chance to go get it. I've done a little bit of research on it. It seems like it'll do me. It's a bit too big if anything. Ooh. And yeah, so basically I'm going to go get that today, which means that I'm only going to have, like, I probably think I've got 2 hours on this job that's just literally around the corner. Right, and this is it. So basically, I've got to cover this area off, put a worktop on the top, and then the plumber, when he's fitted, I've put his pencil on, is screwed in and it's not, and also there's no bottom bit. I think there should be an end panel. They haven't got any, they've just got a load of shelving, which is like this raw chipboard edge, load of carcass material if you like, an edge, no edging. They've got these nice feet though. These are like wrapped MDF, these are quite, but they've been fitted, or they've been pre-drilled, I don't know. But anyway, that's what I've agreed. I think it would look quite nice, so I'm going to put them on the ends, like that. Just cut these now, so they fit. Cut them on the ends, and now I'm going to scribe in a panel between there and there. It just means I've got to cut both ends, and this stuff blows easily. But anyway, yeah. And I'm going to domino 2 boards together to make that up. Cut a little bit in there just so you don't see the foot. And then top on. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I've got 2 things. I've got to glue the edge on the worktop. I've got to do that now. And I've also got to get them glued up and drying. I've got to go talk through some other stuff, which I'm going to do now, but I'm only here for 2 hours, so I might only be able to get it prepped. Right, okay, that's where we're at. So they're in, there's your join there. I mean, you're always going to see it, but it's behind that. And then you can see, you don't really see around the back there, but she's got everything a little wipe over. Scribed in, it's got the top to go, I'll put the lip on the top, and what I'll do is just cut the top to out here somewhere. We'll go straight through. What we're going to do around there, I don't know, but yeah. Hides the legs and that anyway. It'll look nice when it's done. Just I've got to go now until I get this planer. Right. Woo! Yeah, just only got this planer. That's in the back. See it. Hopefully I'm going to get the farmer now to unload it. Couldn't really film when I was there because he got so much equipment now. I was worried he was actually a bit of a wholesaler for bloody electrical stuff, and I wanted him to be a woodworker so I could talk to him about it. He was. We run some bits through. I'm happy with it. A lot of money for an old machine, but yeah, it should always be worth something. That's the thought process anyway.
Why do I always indicate when I'm there? Oh, he's here. Thomas is here. Right, yeah, so I'll update you when I'm getting off the van. I've got to charge my phone anyway. And then we'll have a little talk about it, I suppose. I've not done fucking anything else this week, have I? Oh, it's just gone. It's just unloaded it for me. Look, the old, look at him. They'll do this. They'll do this for they'll do this for a week or so until they figure out that's probably not a good place to nest. I haven't been here, unfortunately, for the last few days. They've got a nest up there, their old nest. I'm hoping they just go back to that spot. What we don't want is the nesting up there, because I don't want to get rid of them. I won't get rid of them. So basically, it runs on 16 amps. My board, got a 3-phase board over there. So I may well run a dedicated lead just for it, because it will only use the 16 amps on startup. Or I might just tap on a socket onto the side of that. I don't know yet. But either way, either option will work. But long term, it's probably best to have a dedicated cable. The reason I've gone for this, I was going to buy a Axminster one. There's probably about 4 or 5. It's not a brand new Axminster one. The new Axminster ones don't seem to offer what I need from this. So this is a StartRite SDX 310 by Right. So I don't think they actually made many StartRite. It then went to Roland or Robland or whatever, and then it went to someone else. So basically, this version here, which is what the Axminster one done, and what the there's 4 or 5 others that I wanted, decent machines, where the planar surface table opens that way, because by rights, most of them you have to lift the bed up to access the fixer which is underneath. So my one I've got at the moment is in that mode actually at the moment, yeah, that mode there. Now this one, it tips the other way. So that one doesn't even tip, it's just that one tips the other way just to access this chute. The reason I want it to tip this way, not that way, is because I could never put that one near the wall. I have to have it like nearly 2 feet away from the wall, just for when I want to flip it into thicknesser mode. So at least this one I can get closer to. I mean, it's still a unit. It's going to be a fair amount off the wall. The only thing is I've poured this latex pad in for the other machine, which was smaller, but the Axminster one. But looking at it, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put you on charge because my phone is really, really low. I'm going to look at getting that machine into place. Might even get it wired up today as well, if I can. I've got a nip, like I say, I've got a nip to London as well. Well, I'm waiting on charge anyway. I just thought I'd give you a little rundown of what I'm trying to do, really. You sort of see it's a bit of a mess in here, but then we've got the clear space, like I said the other week, between each machine. You know, we've got over 3.5 metres to that machine. Okay, I've only got 2.4 to this machine here, but that's lower. I've put it on a latex pad. So this is now about 15 mil higher than that. So that'll actually work as a nice in-feed table. And I'll just use my outfeed rollers. Which should be up there, but they're not. Yeah, anyway, these birds are kicking out all sorts of stuff. Where are they nesting now? They're nesting up there. You can't nest up there. That's my office. You can't nest up there, guys. Yeah, you can't. You can't. If you started, I'm telling you now, listen. If you've started, it's best to just call it quits and just go back over to the other side. I like you being over there. We can be in by this door. Just up there, there's a gap up there you'll get in. But you can't really, where are you? You can't hang around here. Just, you know, you're a bit committed now probably, aren't you? I just saw a little bit of twig or something fall down. Yeah, you can't though, guys, sorry. Yeah. Lovely, aren't they? Just fucking shit. See, just shit. I heard something drop. That'll be my life for the next 2 months. I was looking forward to them coming back. Hopefully they're just playing. Oh, a bit of a compromise, but I've got it in. The only bonus is I've actually managed to, not that I think I needed to, I've got its own 16 amp supply on, because there's a 20 amp supply to the room above, which is on a 20 amp breaker, but I've actually just reconnected the cables for that upstairs, because I only ever run like 2 fan heaters in there at most, and the extractor, it just takes nothing. That's now spurred off the ring main for the sockets. Well, not, it's not a ring main, it's radial. Anyway, so that's now on its own 20 amp. It doesn't need to be. It's just that the dust extractor that's like 3 kilowatts, something crazy. So when you fire that up and fire that up at the same time, there may well be some sort of boost. I think that needs like 16 amps to start, but it's no way it runs on 16 amps. Yeah, compromise being, it does fit on that pad, but the other machine oil that I was going to get didn't have this arrangement with a fence that needed to go so far back to engage the table. So what I'm going to have to do now, well not now because I'm going home, I'm going to London, but yeah, cut a slot in there so that goes back another 150 mil, and then that means these tables can come. And then what I'll do here is, rather than extend the latex pad, I think I'm just going to build a little picture frame and put a carpet pad in there, so at least when I'm standing there I'm on carpet. It's not ideal, it's not what I wanted, if I'm honest, and not now probably going to do the same thing there just so it looks like it's intentional, not that anyone cares. So that might look quite nice. Got some retro 70s carpet or something. Yeah, but I'm happy. I'm just not happy with the state of the workshop, and I've double checked. I've got to make a hood thing as well for the extractor. I want to try and get all this done in one unit or something nice and simple. The idea is for it to be so little maintenance and just hassle when you're going between the modes. That's really what I've spent all this time sort of prepping this doing, which is what I've got with this one. That's just one hook into there, and then that's on. That's always plugged in, ready to go. This will always be plugged in, ready to go. And again, just with one of the dust things connected. That's the idea. But I'm pleased with the actual machine. I mean, Christ, you know, it's a 3 blade. It's a 3 blade head. Not that it's going to come on, I'll just turn that off. Yeah, it's got 3 blades on it. I think you're looking at 12-inch capacity. There's so much micro adjustment on this as well.
Right, good morning. It's Thursday morning, which is mental. When I think about how much work I've done this week, it's been appalling. I can't believe I thought I tell you what, the bank holidays annoy me as well, but I could always work through them. You know, I just you know, your family and that are at home, so you spend time with them. But then you get to middle of the week, and you're like, bloody hell. You know. Anyway, yeah. So I've come back to that job where I started the vanity unit yesterday. I was only really here for 2 hours, and some of that time I was I was here for 3 hours, but I was chatting, talking about future work and stuff. And then it's a case of, do I then jump on something, or do I really sort out this new thickness of planer? And I think I'm going to sort out the new thickness of planer, and I think I'm going to jump on the drawings for the kitchen and do that next week rather than any bedroom furniture, just because this is the first kitchen that I want to do where it's ready and waiting, as opposed to me getting the kitchen ready for a deadline. That's costing me time and money now, but I've sort of wrote this week off really, because I've been cost time and money because of this bloody thickness of planer. Yeah, so, and I have got a chat to a guy out that way. Have I brought the laptop? Yes, I have, yeah. So I've got a chat to a guy out that way with some drawings, so I just figured right today off is doing that. Tomorrow, get all my deposits and stuff finalised, get my prices finalised, because it's been so long now since I've quoted it. Yeah, and then I'll just be straight on it next week. So I'll try and get some content today, me doing bits and bobs, but it's not really going to be a week for you watching me work, unfortunately. And really that's on the back of the last 2 weeks where I've not really been doing a lot of workshop stuff, but I promise it is coming. Right, I'm going to jump on this one, film what I can film. It's edging a strip, cutting the worktop really, it's not like it's very exciting. Right, I didn't do any of the paneling in this room. All I've done is just made this bit right. Now I can sort of, I mean, if we look,
This is the end grain finish that we're dealing with here, end grain down to edge joint. But anyway, I didn't do it. However, the bloke that did do it obviously decided that solvent-free grip fill onto a painted surface with no fixings or PVA, or even actually cutting the end off of your timber to square it before you fit it. I mean, look at the arse end on that. Fucking hell. Anyway, does solvent-free grip fill work? Does it bollocks? Yeah. And I actually think, because I caught him once using decorator's cork to stick something to the wall. So, shout out your bell end. Just needs silicone in him, really. It does look a bit odd up there, doesn't it? But by the time they put stuff on there, I mean, really, this paneling wanted to be thought out a little bit better, probably, to drop it to the right height, or maybe not run those in, or it definitely wants some in the corner. However, being really fussy, and once you start dressing the room up, it'll look fine. Yeah, that's me then. We'll go to the workshop now. Unfortunately, I haven't got any silicone on the van, otherwise I'd silicone it in. But it doesn't need it for a little bit. It'll get away with it. Yeah, and I've PVA'd the edge, the raw edge, for anyone that says I haven't. Oh, you can hear the birds. I've just driven the whole way here with the air defenders on. The radio is quiet. Yeah, I can hear the birds. Let's go in. Let's see. Just be careful, because last year when they were settling in, you'd open the door and they'd come flying out. I think they were just playing around yesterday. I think they've gone back to their little home because they're not in here. I'll find out today. They come back in and start messing around up there. I can't imagine they'd want to be in here when I'm in here, but I haven't been in here for a while, so. Right, what we're going to do while we're in here, anyway, we're going to put, like I said yesterday, we're going to put these carpet pad things in front of these two machines. We're just going to basically do the dust chute. He's in. He's just come in. Where's he going? Oh, he's up there in that fucking nest. No, he just came in the bloody door. I don't care. Let's try it again. You might have just got a bit confused. It's just that they've only been here a little while, you see. Turn that off. Yeah, door's open now, mate. Look. Door's open. He'll come out. Come out, won't you? He's not coming out. Fucking hell. Go on, just come out. I'm not. Yeah, look. They're fucking lovely. Aren't they? Let me come over here. Look. You want to come out, but I'm in the door, aren't you? Let me come out of the way, and then you can come out. Let this go on. Don't know if I got that. I probably didn't get that because I was too busy looking. Nice, but you know what I mean, I've got to have the doors open. I'm hoping I don't think they'll figure it out. Fuck it, if they want to move it, I can move it, I suppose. I can't really stop them. I don't really want to stop them. Right, anyway, I'll get going on this, have a bit of a tidy up. As you can see, I've got all this stuff on the bench, and I'll update you when I've done something, really. Just show you what I've done, I suppose. Or I might even, do you want to, shall I film me connecting a dust chute? No, shall I bollocks? No, I might, we'll see what I do. Right.
Yeah.
it then. Yep, that's why, because look at this. Look at them. Staying around, figuring it out. I love it. Just buzzing around outside, man. Wow. Wow. Better shut the paint room. Look at them, look how they put, you wouldn't believe that. Hanging upside. That's what happens when your electrician puts slack on a cable. Yeah. What are you, a fighter? I don't want to scare him. I couldn't give a fuck. They're in. I actually spend more time in here. I might get them little tool belts. Right, let's do some work anyway. Fucking hell. I've got to try not to pick up the camera every time they come in. It's the first time this year they've been back. Look. There's a small don't go up there, mate. There's a small possibility. There's a small possibility I was probably a bit too friendly last year when they were back. Now they're just like, he's alright, isn't he? Yeah, really pretty chill bloke, don't really care. There's a lot of barns around here. There's a lot of empty barns as well. Maybe I just want the company. I should imagine once I start using the machinery, they're probably debating. My guess is, I'm not a, is it ornithologist? Or a Twitter? Whatever it is. Whatever you are when you're a specialist, they've been in the fucking paint room. They have literally just been in that fucking paint room. I know they have. I know, because I'll be shitting in it. I thought that was where I was sitting there. I've not been in there. They've got no reason to be in here. Can't hear it downstairs. Right. Sounds like opposite. Anyway, if anyone knows, let me know soon. Basically, my thought process is they're thinking about nesting. Wow. Thinking pretty hard about nesting based on what I'm looking at. They're thinking about nesting. That's close. And I think once I start turning the machines on, they won't. And once I start being here a bit more often, I've been nearly 2 weeks away, haven't I? Yeah, that's my thought process, but I just hope I'm not too late. I don't want them to have started nesting. I don't really know when they start nesting. I know they come over. What's it like? It's spring, isn't it? End of spring, really. Start of summer, I suppose. Swallows in the heat wave, isn't it? So they leave all the hotter countries when they come over, but we'll see. They wouldn't have a nest up there. It'd be too hot anyway. It'd be too hot up there for a nest. It'd be far too hot for you. That roof gets well hot. Right. Let's do some work. Right then, I didn't put the carpet down yet. I cut it, and I've got it down the back. It looks awful with a bit of carpet there. So I'm just going to latex an extra bit in. I've chopped it up on some wood for now. Doesn't rattle, doesn't vibrate. The dust collection is not the best, it seems. To be fair, I did run quite a bit through. I mean, I've done a good job of that. It's just, I think it alters where you put it in this position, but I'll have to do a bit of research over the weekend. Finish. I mean, I just shot that in, that board there on it, and there's nothing on that. They're so nice. And then I will say one thing. I think that was already surface plane, but I put it against the fence and just thought I'd edge joint it, see how flat I can get it. Anyone that knows anything about edge jointing, thicknessing and planing, well, surface planing, I guess in this case, trying to get things dead flat there's an art to it, or you've got to have your machine perfectly set up. And credit to the bloke who sold me this, it is bob on, absolutely bob on. It just makes such a difference. And that's just under 1.5 meters, that is. So that's such a long bed now to pass things through on. Yeah, and I put this shelf here. Obviously, you see I've cut this slot out, so that goes right back, and then we can engage the thicknessing part of it. But I thought I'll put this shelf here because quite often I need to put like a little tie on that so that it doesn't get in the way. But basically, quite often I'll be at the planer if I'm just doing a few little bits and I just want somewhere to put them, just little odds and sods really, just like running through a couple of little face frame ends or just some short bits, and sometimes you just want somewhere to put them. The big bits, you walk around with them, and then you've got a habit of laying them where they're going. But yeah, the little bits I could stack up on there, and also I might just make a little box up and just keep all the spare planer blades in there, and maybe at some point I know I'll end up making jigs and stuff for it. Ooh, does it do angles? Better do, because the old one did. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Go for that. Otherwise I'll be making angle jigs. And then here, I'm possibly going to turn one of these shelves, or I'll put it on the side there, just bits for the spindle moulder, because at the moment they're all in them cupboards over there. It's just not organised really, all the bits for the spindle moulder. And the same up there, bits for the sanders and stuff. You see some of these American workshops and they've got stuff everywhere and they make it look amazing. But I've done all this, tied all this area up, basically taken that away from there because that will have the flue going up eventually. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little false ceiling in above there. Just a small one, so the heat doesn't escape. You don't have to worry about that for a few months. Yeah. And now my spindle moulder sits bloody perfect. There's not an ounce of movement in that. Not an ounce. I've seated the dust connection in as well. I've just done loads of shitty jobs really that need doing. Far end of the workshop needs a good old tidy up, but yeah, the room that's giving me back, taking my planer from being mobile, moving everything over there, because I always had too much room there, and the spindle moulder just was in such a bad place, directly behind the door. I mean, this is going to make my life so much easier. I can actually, and these benches there on wheels, if I want to move them, so I could actually move these benches around if I need to. Looking at it, it looks like I could go over that way a bit. Yeah, the reason I put some of my Festool kit over there, the rest of it, I've got cupboards down there, and I've got obviously the room up there, but that's the stuff I use all the time. The reason I've moved it over is because I found that I was never going around here. I was never doing anything from this side because they were just too hard up against it. I'll keep the boom there. There's no point in putting the boom there, I don't think. Birds are back. Right. I'm actually off to the seaside this weekend, so that's me done for this week. Next week I'm fairly confident. Well, put it this way, if I don't start that kitchen next week, I'll be on bedroom furniture, so I'll definitely be in here. It's just I want to start the kitchen first. It's not the most productive way to organise your workflow, because I could have just jumped on building stuff now for these bedrooms, but I just want to I've got to sell that fit planer. I've got to do bits and bobs. I don't want to start in a bit of a mess. I'd rather just give it a bit of a blitz, then I'm in here solid then. Should be nice. Right. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Where was I? So what was I doing? So I think I was below 100 last week. And I'm sure, like, I checked it last night and I was on 114. So, yeah, I think I was on 98 or 99. So 15 subscribers in 1 week. Come on, that's pretty, I'm happy with that. I mean, you wouldn't be, but yeah. Yeah, see you later.